All right. So, bracket number 3. We are already underway for event number 3, the final one of today. Let's take a look at the Kratos game to start. So I think I called the other map Lights Out, but this is Lights Out. Why do I remember it's Lights Out? Because this is arguably my least favorite map in the game. But we do get a Zappy on the board, chat. How often do you see Zappy? We do see the Kratos classic Kratos getting a little Baba Haha going. A little Baba Yaga action. Not really sure what the hell Baba Yaga is doing, but there is... Time out. What led to this happening? What exactly led to this board state? It's fun zoning into a live game and just wondering what in God's name just happened. What just happened? Zero keys left for both players. We'll be able to jump into some other games after this immediately for event number 3. Let me update, getting feedback for bracket stuff. Let's update these. Whoops. All right, there we go. Just trying to make sure we stay on top of it. I can't believe Hakune got Glob today and was getting that much value out of it. Glob, I'm real excited to get Glob. I'm so close. I'm so close to getting Glob. But enough about Glob. Let's talk about Zappy and Baba Yaga locking the map down right now. This is a weird stalemate. I don't really see a great way for Gino to get in there. We don't know how many traps have been laid down by either player. And any of them, like, there could be a ton of traps here. And both of these are AoE traps. Admittedly, the fire ant traps might hurt Gino more than they hurt Kratos. That was a... Well, it could have been either trap, I guess. I was going to say it was a unicorn trap, but I didn't catch it quick enough. I was just kind of looking away as I'm checking, monitoring status for everything. So for anybody out there that isn't already aware, since we're into event 3 of the day for Fright Night number 4, I am part of the content affiliate program. That means that the Phobies team does send me stuff, namely coffee and this sweet hoodie that we got from Smoking Gun. I don't know if you can really see that. I'm trying to like lean. Sweet hoodie from Smoking Gun for running Fight Night number 3. But they do send me coffee, gives you a little context for what's going on here. I will be putting these up, but the VODs for the live stream, which is what we're doing now. We're watching all these games live. Links for that, for the Discord and all that fun stuff can be found down by the like and sub button, if you're watching this on YouTube, in the description. If you're here at the live stream, ! Discord, and you can get details for a future Fright Nights if you want to try and compete. We're going to be looking at most likely some different structures, some different formats for things, or future ones to be determined. Just got to get that stuff out there. We'll mention it periodically. But this has been a lot of fun today. We'll probably do a recap once the stream's done. I will need to eat, so I will probably take a brief break and restart the stream, turn off the delay so I can interact with chat more directly. But I am going to be looking for feedback from people, so let me know in Discord. I'll set up another Google form for people to submit feedback on what their thoughts were for this particular Fright Night, what their thoughts are for the next Fright Nights, that sort of thing. We want to keep moving onward and upward, so to speak. Keep improving where we can. In the meantime, we're watching these two players stare at each other menacingly. Think Gino could block I assume you mean the zappy. Block the zappy and hit the wing with the ant. So the ant was here. They could have put a block here. They send the ant here and hit this. That is feasible. It wouldn't kill it. I imagine the issue is that Gino's thinking there's a trap here. I don't think that's that big of a deal, but given that there's no spa, there's no remaining keys, every hit point matters. Where's my hoodie? I don't have any to give away. That is not actually part of the prizes for this particular event. Only coffee for this one. That's why I'm running these events, Anton. Big part of it. Big part of it. But yes, trap game. I see Akune's getting excited. This is dangerous. This is dangerous. This is a 500 damage trap. If there's a trap here, you don't cap that panic point. You just sacrifice that AWOL for nada. This, yeah, if you're going to do this, the better thing is I would wait, reposition, take a little bit more damage, save the AWOL. I don't think it's worth risking the AWOL here. Because this is the play chat was pointing out. Chat was pointing this out. But yeah, shout out to all the competitors. Want to give them their due. Shout out to the devs. Shout out to all of the other content creators, because there are other content creators running events. I know Dios is running one, maybe literally right this second, but definitely this weekend. Jelly Belly's run stuff in the past. I think they're still continuing it. And there's definitely other content creators that are putting on their own events of various kinds. If you don't know what I'm talking about, hit up the various Phobies social media. Check out the various groups. There's always posts going on there. And of course, for random thoughts related stuff, you can hit up the links in the description for the Discord or come by the live stream. That's your motivation? I hope Atona shows up and tries to recommend you, like, metalcore. Players are saying they had some tunes going for some motivation. Got to be in the zone. Being mentally in the zone is actually important. Like, your frame of mind is important when, even for stuff like this. You always see athletes warming up with music or there's music played in stadiums and stuff. And all of that matters. It really does matter for morale. It matters for frame of mind. And it's not as extreme as, oh, well, I don't have my music playing, so I can't win, but it can take you, like, cause you to lose focus. Hey, it's a good time to get your revenge there, Akune. Ooh, the brutal Baba Yaga trap. Not quite so brutal. Only hits the Gravedigger. Wow, breaking your own obstacle. No, this was their obstacle. Never mind. We're going to get a push here to eliminate the Gravedigger, I imagine. Otherwise, why would you do this? Why you do this? Why? Are you just debating what you're going to hit? Like, I assume the fear here is that there's a... Kratos must know there's a trap here. And in 3 hours, I have Dios' tournament as well. Ah, so that hasn't started yet? Well, good luck in Dios' event. Shout out to Dios. Dios was hanging out here earlier. It was pretty cool having Dios hang out for a little bit. Like I said, I'm glad that there are multiple events going on. A rising tide raises all ships. And it also makes it easier with different... Because Dios is running a wildly different format than any Fright Night that I've run, or anyone that I probably would run. Because I'm not a big fan of Phobie bands, personally. I don't have an issue with it existing. I just don't personally like them. For a variety of reasons. We've discussed it on stream on many occasions. But I think that it is fine and good for those events to exist for people that either like it or just for the sake of having something different. Even if I don't like it, that doesn't mean that it wouldn't be correct for somebody to host an event that way, or it's incorrect to do it that way. Like, that may be the correct way to run Phobies events. I don't know. We'll see. Is this dead? This can't be dead. This is pretty aggressive here. Oh my god, if there's a fire ant trap somewhere here. Not a fire ant trap. Not a fire ant trap. Admittedly, this will die, and it's going to... Ooh, no, it can't get killed by lava, because anything that touches it is going to kill it and therefore get a dimensional pull. This looks like... I mean, it was in Kratos' favor, but this is looking like game Kratos, barring something drastic happening that I don't even know what that would be, because I don't know how you kill Zappy, let alone the Murder Wing. Either route is fine. You can go for the Phobie, you can go for the heart. It doesn't matter. This is a little weird. But again, I don't think there's any reasonable way for them to actually... for Gino to take this at this stage. But well played. Well played. Okay, so we'll jump in. We'll take a peek at... Let's take a peek on Phobos! The map that everyone loves to hate. The map that everyone loves to hate, and we're getting... I'm telling you, as many Gravediggers as we've seen nearly as many Dronies. It is fascinating to me, chat. It's fascinating to me. Frenemies games get counted in the win rate of your profile. Really? I mean, I don't care in the slightest about my win rate. I mean, I kind of do. It would be nice to have a really nice win rate, but I don't really care. But that is weird, because I know there are people who care, for better or worse. Like, it's important to them. I was unaware of that. Sorry for ruining everybody's win rates, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, chat, this is actually exciting. We get some honorary good boys in Finnegan and Slammerhead. You love to see it. I don't know about this one, Chief. This can't possibly be correct. I think Kratos realized, wait, my Slammerhead's just going to get booped for freezies, because this will leap and kill the cat. This will obviously live. And then Finnegan just replaces and goes, boop. You could body block with your Droney, or say a Murder Wing or something, and that would prevent this sort of boop, because it's not a mass or AoE boop. Come here, go baby. Yeah, you're a good girl. You are a good girl. You can just switch in positions? Okay. She doesn't really want to say hi to the stream. There's so many Dronies this tournament. What is it? This board state feels like a challenge. Like one of the challenges that you can do. This is what this board state seems like, which now that I say that, it reminds me, I have not done all of the new challenges. I never did them. Another fact, in every game, I banned Phobos and Xylo, so no one had the chance to use 2.0 Beauty Heartbreaker against me. I mean, that's a good plan. Like, you had a plan going in for the map bans. Admittedly, I think Beauty is still viable on a lot of these other maps. Like, you could use Beauty on... Because you played on Mysomania, didn't you? And 2.0 is not bad, but yes, it clearly gets more value otherwise. It clearly gets more value otherwise. I've been looking at chat and, like, I'm confused as to what the hell's going on here. Just checking Discord real quick. Just checking Discord real quick. This looks like a quest game. Yeah, this is so weird. I don't know what's happening. But honestly, I mean, Kratos is an advantage here. 3-1 panic point advantage. Both players, I think, are just playing overly cautious. This can happen for a lot of reasons. But a lot of people, a lot of the competitors through all the events have been checking in Discord, checking in chat, checking in other places and saying, oh, I'm so excited, but I'm so nervous. And this has been going on for a while. It's not just today. And if that's true, I mean, who's going to lie about that? That can alter your mental math for the, what the heck? What? Why would you walk up and, even there, like, I don't, what is happening? I am so confused. What the hell is happening? So to finish the thought, basically, if people are nervous, they might play more cautiously. That's basically the moral of the story. But I'm more interested in talking about it. If you were to move the spider here and you yoink the quagmire, it should end up here. If you were to go... No, there's no way to get this to connect. I was trying to see if there was a way to displace the quagmire to here and then boop it, but I don't think there's any way to do it because the spider has to occupy the same spot the slammer head has to be in. You saw 2.0 and Beauty on the Once lore earlier? Yes, also true. I think we saw it multiple times, but that's another map where it definitely makes sense. There are too many Abyss maps in this particular rotation to eliminate them all. There are too many Abyss maps to eliminate them all. But that's why I'm looking forward to if the devs introduce the ability to just have the entire map pool always accessible to Frenemies games. Because then we can build our own custom map pools as opposed to waiting 3 days before the event sort of thing. Because there's a limitation. I can't a month in advance say, well, this is what the map rotation is, because we have no idea what it will be. So down goes the spider. What did Kratos even get for the spider? Literally nothing. It's just a dead spider. I mean, you're going to get a noxious hit on these three, which is fine. Don't hate that. There's no way to displace the spider from here. So you can't, walk up and boop this somehow. Because you could reposition some of the flyers to do it. But that just felt like a lazy mistake from Kratos. Which I make a ton of, especially in async, where I've talked about it a lot. I don't pay attention at all in async. It's just, how fast can I get this turn over with? My wrist is getting stiff from, I've been sitting here for over 8 hours, chat. Been over 8 hours. Been a long stream. It's been a long stream. A lot of talking. My throat's going to be tired tomorrow. But we got game reviews tomorrow. Those are going to be after the fact, as opposed to live ones. Like this. Dead Cassowary? Dead Cassowary. No? Really? Oh, yeah, this only does 300 at this level. Got it. That's a great boop. You get the droney to set up the slammer head boop. The poison here also makes sense. Get the poison pre-boop so that way this is poison. All of a sudden, it's Hevo, Spider, and Finnegan versus this stuff. Now, a lot of this stuff is going to die. Yoink is down, though. The boop here clearly doesn't matter. But the spider is on the stem, so there's going to be a bunch of damage possibly going down onto this slammer head. 550, so 1100. Not enough to kill it, though. Slammerhead is a good tanky boy. The honorary good boy is, in fact, fairly tanky. Pretty good. It's pretty good. This is the thing that I really like about the maps, that if it turns out Slammerhead is quote-unquote meta on this map, that's pretty cool, because you don't see Slammerhead in a lot of other situations. So having this map ban system allows for those sort of things where I know how to properly use Slammerhead. I want Phobos in the pool. Oh, I know my opponent loves to use Slammerhead. Let me rotate that, like ban that out of the pool. But you can't ban out every strategy. You can't ban out every pocket plan. So you have to be able to adapt to things, especially if your opponent does have one of those pocket strategies. So you end up forcing them into awkward scenarios. Kind of like this, where if this Hevo doesn't move, this is going to be real awkward for our blue player because that... Oh, no. They don't know. Okay, they figured it out. Or they did this just to... Yeah. Because otherwise, this boop is always live. There's no cooldown on this boop. It would have walked up there and just annihilated that Hevo. So the retaliation here, not bad, not bad. There is pressure. It's a 4-to-1 panic point advantage. This one still is yet to be claimed. 5k health left. Admittedly, the snowball doesn't put a lot of pressure on, but it is still damage. It's actually more than a panic point per hit, if you look at it from that perspective. So you can't completely ignore it. 7,800 health on our orange player's heart. 10 keys remaining total, 17 here, 7 available. What is going to be the follow-up here? It could be just about anything at this stage. It could even be a boat. There are no boat phobies, chat. There are boat-related ones, I guess, because we have a shark, we have Octonauty, we have Bad Sushi, Fish Tank. They're boat adjacent. We get a little boop, free damage there. Honestly, Kratos isn't in a bad spot to defend this. This is 420. So that's 7. If the invade happens, you can snipe this, but I imagine it ends poorly for our blue player because this has to come in. This has to come in. Then you can get a hit with these. This can assist. Fireball, I think, is now up on Snowball, so that would be in range. Plus, hypothetically, well, only Jar could reach, but you get the idea. You get the idea. At this point, stabilizing, but we're under 4k health. I think you start at 8k, so you're under halfway here. But notably, for all the complaining, including myself, about first player advantage on Phobos, I mean, we'll see how this game plays out, but it's 2-0 second player so far. I agree with you, Anton. That's the interesting thing about level 1 Phobies is that people say you open Slammerhead, and I've talked about this a lot before. You open Slammerhead and you're all excited, but then you realize, hey, Slammerhead's like 10 levels, 15 levels under the rest of my stuff. Why are you going to play it? And then it will forever be behind. You will never then level it up because you're going to burn all your XP on the other stuff, unless you happen to have spare or something. And then you don't use it as much because you're not as experienced with it. You don't want to lose ladder games. So you end up in this downward spiral where you don't utilize a lot of phobies. And I think when everything's set to level 1, people recognize that, hey, this is a useful scenario for it. And I have the opportunity. The Ray Chargels came down. I'm not really clear on why. I mean, I guess it's to deal with the Hevo, but whatever. I don't know why this the snowball should move far. Like, why did it only go here? What? Did you think it would boop up here? There's no world in which that would happen. Well, what do I know? I constantly can never figure out the boops or anything, so whatever. You play Finnegan a lot here? I can see it. Like, I get it. I understand where Finnegan shows up. Slammerhead is a little more challenging just because of the cost. But Slammerhead is so tanky. Tryhards play usually Rambolina. Rambolina's pretty good. 3-0 for the second player on Phobos for these tournaments. Seems good. Seems good. Maybe we all had it in reverse the whole time. It's that second player has too much of an advantage. I'll probably be using Slammer here in the future. I'd be up for trying it. Be down for it. I know those are just opposite directions there. Oh no! The boop! That's such a good boop. That's such a good boop. That is such a good boop. Honestly, a lot of Phobos matches just end up being Heart Rush for me. It is very easy to end up pressuring the heart a ton and then diving the heart. But the one thing I'll say that does seem to be consistent about Phobos, regardless of who wins, is they feel very decisive. Like, the end of the game, it's like, okay, yes, through the course of the game, there might be back and forth, but even then, a lot of the time, it's overwhelming one way or the other. But the end of the game is just like, yeah, there's just no way. It's like the whole team against two Phobies, or it's like the whole team surrounding the heart, just beating on it, you know. Map admin stuff going on, or event admin stuff going on. So in the meantime, we do get the elimination there. We're just waiting on where the rest of the positioning is going to go. Pulling back pretty far. I don't know about this one. Honestly, I think Kratos can just kind of attack this Ray Chargels. Because if it tries to stay to zap the Hevo, or you can invade. That's a lot of damage, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's still a Phobie that can happen. I don't hate that play, truthfully. You get a takedown, you get a ton of damage going down on this other stuff. Like, the Hevo's almost dead. The Spider's pretty beat up. They're not going to heal next turn with the Clinico. The problem is you can yoink here. You boop. The boop probably puts it here. I don't know. Like, will that happen? I think the boop ends up here. I don't think it ends up here. Not like it really matters, because what you need to have happen... There's no displace available from the Hevo 2.0, so this body blocking here means that the Finnegan can't get into position to even try to boop this, because you could set up a world in which you chain, yoink, and boop in order to get rid of this Hevo. You'd probably end up losing Spider and Ray Chargels for it, but 4-1 panic point advantage. It astounds me that this panic point hasn't been claimed yet. That's just a dead Ray, right? Yeah, that Ray is just dead. So we do get a chain boip. Boip? I guess that's the combination of boop into yoink to take down the Slammerhead. But this is still a stimmed up Hevo 2.0. You still have the AoE on Noxious here. Clearly Finnegan dies. This dies. And Gino is backed all the way into the corner here. Backed all the way into their vault. Backed all the way up into their vault. I don't really know what they do here. What do you do to actually pull back from this spot. You Metabot, apparently. From the brink of death. Hilariously enough, this does less healing with TLC than Dermic does. Which I think we pointed out before, but this Ray is still toast. This Finnegan's still toast. Or should be, anyway. Yeah, you have to meatball here. Well, Yoink is down, so I guess that's safe. Wait, are you just not gonna meatball it? I don't know about this one. Did I miscount this? You can kill this, right? Meatball is up. Maybe I miscounted? Nope, there it is. There we go. The boink. It's time for Glob. It's always time for Glob. But no keys. No keys available. Your one and only hope. I just realized I forgot there's a Clinico. So this is almost a fully healthy Evo 2.0. I don't think it particularly matters. Because if I am Kratos right now, I'm diving hard. I'm just going for it. You just go for the throat. They can't stop you. It's impossible. You just walk everything over here. I mean, you probably put Hevo here to claim the panic point, and then you move the flyers up into range here and here. This is gonna be, well, the boop probably puts it here. The problem is that now for this to get into range of the heart, well, I guess it doesn't matter. They're gonna take like 1,000 damage this turn. Or how much? They're 200 each. It'll be 4 to 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, they're up 4. So they'll take 800. Puts them at 11. This game's over. 3 range healer for a Phobie, 1 tile from the vault. Yarp. To be fair, it's now proposed or presented other value. I don't know what Kratos is doing here. I think the original line was better, but I don't know that it really matters. Yep, we are live spectating this game. This is actively being played right this second. With a delay on stream. Which is part of the reason why, if you're wondering why you're hearing the response to your question way later than normal, it's because there's an active delay. Intentionally added, for what I presume are obvious reasons. Noxious, in fact, does go down. Does it matter? Unlikely. Still 4 to 1 panic point advantage. I think Kratos can literally just end turn twice. Yeah, you have to cap this. Even in this game, like now it's, okay, Meatball's live. We're just going to shoot the heart. GG. Well played. Got him. Well done. We have our next winner for that round. Kratos won game 1. Wait, I see other stuff happening. Is Kratos, like, just not ending the game? Is Kratos throwing? Kratos is doing Kratos things. I think we can safely assume this game is over. Kratos is doing Kratos games. Let's take a look at the Big She game. Big She game is. We got Big She versus Urkavina, both regulars. You often hear their names when we're doing game reviews. And here we are, a Mysomania. 10 keys to 9 keys remaining. Pretty healthy looking orange team, including Moly Bully. Everybody loves a little Moly Bully action. And we get an Urk Classic in the Venus. Now, we have not seen, or let's see. Bunch of stuff died, but mostly small keys. Notably no Grailium, which has become an Urk trademark as of late. And a few cheaper keys also down for Big She. We did see a break from Gravedigger here, but Crushmore has yet to break anything, which is bold. I imagine it didn't break this because of the fear of the spider yoink. There's a bunch of things that could collapse on it if it ended up in this spot, so I get it. It's a little late to be doing it, but we'll see. Where are all the traps in that other game? I don't know. They must have set them all off. I mean, everything was super low by that point. But yeah, the traps were not on the lava. There must have been a lot of forward Kratos traps. The reason I say that is when we zoned into the game, the honey bear, oddly enough, there's a honey bear here. The honey bear had vomited on its own side, which is like, poor K. Why did this happen? Yeah, my belly feels weird because I've been eating at odd hours now. Ah, get a little practice act. I saw you guys practicing some games. What is it with Hevo 2.0 hanging at the north of every map and just like, hi guys, hey guys, don't mind me. First we were seeing it on one floor and now it's spreading to Mysomania. It's spreading like a rash. This is itchy. Yeah, Urk has 10 keys, has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Phobies. Could put another one on the board. I don't know why we haven't seen the Grailian that is, as mentioned, Urk's calling card, trademark, however you want to look at it. But it feels like we're going to get a push from Big She. We got 5850 to 6200 here. That's a lot of HP, especially given what's here. Like, you can't really commit. You're going to get annihilated by a pull in this. Yeah, Grailian +3 is exactly right. It could happen. But the panic point advantage is in Urk's favor at the moment. Here's the thing. I think you almost need to claim this right now. The problem with claiming this is anything that goes up there is yoinkable. This is kind of a weird spot for Urk, truthfully. Either you have to retreat a little bit more, because otherwise you're going to get stim booped. But if they stim boop, maybe you shouldn't fear that, because this is not going to die. There's no way for them to get any damage to supplement the Hevo. And you're not going to end up in a weird spot. Like, you're going to end up safer. So, then you just, you know, yoink their Hevo and blow it up. Oh, I got a ping. What's happening now? Oh, they're just letting me know that it was 1-0 in the other game, the other series. Who's a good girl? The puppy's just laying there being adorable. It's having a very lazy day. It doesn't want to do anything. It's very cold here, chat, so I think that's probably part of it. Although it doesn't seem to be bothering her, like, in the slightest. Not breaking the block between the panic points is interesting since Honey Bear can't do its thing. I'm not sure what this Honey Bear is intended to do. But yes, that could be also part of the reason why Urk wasn't doing it. I was originally assuming because the yoink onto the Crushmore would be fatal. But it also makes sense because, yes, it's not going to be broken. Unless this Gravedigger, which now broke this obstacle instead. Like, I think sacrificing the Gravedigger here as Big She to do exactly that makes sense. Because then it's a 2-to-1 panic point advantage going the other way. And it is super difficult to reclaim that. It's super difficult to reclaim that. And Big She also has a life total advantage. So unless Urk makes a push, you can just sit there and you will have more turns at a panic point advantage than they will. But as it is, that life advantage will probably ebb away. It has ebbed away already, in fact. Max Phobies. Max Phobies. 7 to 9. What are we doing? We're staring at each other. That's what we're doing. We'll check that. Whoop. Wait, there's a spider going. I saw the spider creeping as I was going to leave the game, just in case it was going to make a push for something. But it was going north, which is meaningless, arguably. I don't know about this. There's no way that they're going to let you get this. And the spider could yoink what? The stabby? I don't know about that. I think the spider's better off down here threatening something. Like, honestly, getting the honey bear wouldn't be bad. It's not going to be spectacular. Because you lose the spider and then they're up spider to not. But we'll check back in on this game, chat. Let's see what's going on in the other ones, if they're ready. So here we are in Ergo, looking at the Urk Big She matchup once again. And what do we got here? What is in store for us? We get another Gesundheit. How big is this clock? I like looking at the map sometimes, chat. Making myself dizzy for a second. That was like weird vertigo. We get a Bluelian. I haven't seen one of those in a while. Bluelian on a turret seems pretty nice. That's nice. We don't have any other 1-drops at the moment for Big Shield, though they're banked to 4. Can, of course, slide this Bachelor up to recap. So, doing some admin stuff, so I'm a little distracted in the moment. We're just getting positioning going here. It's interesting that there's no Gravediggers. We've been talking about this for a while, all day, basically. That there have been an enormous amount of Gravediggers. Metabot thinking it's Morty now. I feel like this Gesundheit is moving way more than they normally do. I could be imagining things. This is aggressive, but it's possible Urk has enough of a defensive position that there isn't really a good way for Big She to get in there. Big She with 7 keys, Urk with 6. What do we got here? What have we got here? My wrist is honestly feeling weird because it's like not quite carpal tunnel, but you know, just sitting in a static position for that long is not like real good. But we persevere. We're going to tough it out, chat. We do get a spider here. There's some damage, but a lot of it is burst damage. No spider. Because these are more bursty, and even bees to a degree, because, you know, you only have the abilities up sometimes. And that's why this Bachelor is somewhat irritating here, is because you can't kill it and get out. This map looks hard to play with all those obstacles in place. I mean, you're not wrong. Hematic Gin Sting. I mean, there are strategies. Obviously, you'd want to lean more into lobbers, but we're seeing a lot. I mean, the Bluelian gets around it. The Bluelian is a burrow. You have 2 flyers for our blue player. But other than that, yeah, it's really kind of awkward. But we actually get a push with, excuse me, we get a push with Stabby, supplemented by the Bluelian healing spa. Definitely makes sense here. This Stabby could die. You know, like, Hematic, regular Ginsting gets 2 hits, probably Casseray finishes it off, and then Snowball comes in to clean up the Bachelor. Because we're maxed on Phobies, you can't get a jar here or something like that. Is that enough? I'm not sure. We got 9 keys remaining for Urk, 7 total for Big She. A little more... No, regular bees. No more bees. I guess it makes sense because this is sitting on the healing spa, so it's kind of like, what's the point? So, yep, we do get the snipe here. Panic point advantage goes blue, but presumably for not very long. Ginsting's likely to dip, end up on the healing spa, take a quick vacation to heal up. There isn't... This can meatball, this can hit, so that's... this is 450, right? Yeah, 450 because 750 while it's on the stim. So that's 950, 13, 14. It's not enough to kill this. That is aggressive. Because you can't kill... Yeah, the Bluelian will probably die for that. I think the better play would have been... Maybe kill this with Bluelian. Put the Gesundheit here. Or here. Foul? Out of all the phobies in the world, that is not the phobie I would have predicted. I don't hate it. Those creepy fingers. I don't hate it. But that is not the phobie I probably would have expected, chat. That is not the phobie I would have anticipated. So 0 keys remaining for our blue player, still 7 for our orange player, and they do have a slot open. So is it going to be Hevo 2.0? Is it going to be Hevo and something else? I imagine we're going to get a mechanical in order to assist in dodging the disease. Just for the after effects. You can, of course, still take damage from Foul's ability. Funky chicken action. The names of the abilities are pretty funny. I mean, some of them are obvious, like spa treatment, but Funky Chicken is hilarious. So we do, in fact, get a Hevo 1.0, the littlest of the Hevos. The littlest Hevo that ever did Hevo. My little Hevo. I'm actually really cold now, chat, and I have no idea why. Legitimately none. So Panic, we're kind of back to where we started when we first loaded into the game. Big standoff, Panic point advantage orange, but now there are basically no keys remaining. And I'm not clear on how our blue player breaks this. Smiley was better? What, in place of the foul, you mean? So does Graylian's idle animation also flash its brain like Bluelian does? Because occasionally, if you watch Bluelian, you'll see its brain flash, like through its skull. Does that happen with Graylian too? Because even Ginsting and Hematic Ginsting have slightly different idle animations, or when you click on them animations. I guess the idle's basically the same. Urk spent the last 7 keys on one phobie that wasn't Graylian. I don't know how often Urk... I'd have to think about it or go back and check. I don't think Urk does Graylian as a last phobie very often. But typically we would have seen it sooner. And I mean, admittedly, it wouldn't have been the last Phobie, because the cassowary technically came afterwards, but point taken. To Big She's pulling back, the foul is going to have to commit in hard in order to get the Gin Sting, and it is not coming out. It is absolutely dead. We're looking at an 1800 health foul. This is already 660 on its own. That's not counting the damage from the thing it's going to disease, and then, of course, the lob. You don't want to trade 7 keys for a 6 in the case of Graylien coming out. We're kind of in that position anyway with the foul, right? Where it's going to have to go in and try and make this happen. But the thing is Graylien, I'm pretty sure, is tankier at level 1. So it's possible that it does not die. Or you can be in a position that if they commit all their resources to killing it, you can then punish them for it. And it also makes your opponent's positioning a little more awkward due to the burrow, but not to an enormous degree. I think there's value in it, but at the same time, the general point stands of trading higher keys for lower keys, and that may not be valuable in this scenario. It may not be valuable in this scenario. Did anybody else ever notice this? Look at the mouth on Hematic Gin Sting. Is that supposed to be his bottom lip? I mean, I guess it's color. It's same for regular Gin Sting. Like, the color of the top of their head and their mouth is the same. Like, it's very red here, and then it's pinkish / light red. And it's a little darker on the lip. I don't know what that means. Other than it just helps add, like, artistically helps add differentiation due to shading. Yeah, I get the sense that Urk is strongly regretting this foul. It doesn't seem to be doing much of anything, like, at all. Although at this stage, maybe? How much damage can be output here? That's 900 plus another 7, so 1600. I mean, maybe this is the push. Maybe this is the push. A really beat up Hevo? I mean, this is going to die. You probably have to kill this because you're not killing this. And then you put a bunch of damage on... I don't know about this healing spa, though. Because odds are, I think Big She has to try and kill the Gesundheit outright. Like, what world does the Gesundheit get damaged but not die? And then even if it lives, it has to vacate, so then you're giving the healing spa to them? Like that, yeah. How many attacks does the Hevo have left? I didn't catch it. And remember, there are still 2 keys remaining for Big She, so there are some other supplementary forces. Oh no. Wait, was this enough? Did I miscount? I must have miscounted on this. I thought it was going to live. But I don't think a damaged Gesundheit and a Bluelian are going to carry the day for Urk here. I don't think just a Bluelian is going to carry the day for Urk here. Hematic Gin Sting. I've heard some things. I've heard a few things. Little creepy action. GG. Game. Big She. So let's see what we got. We're back on Lights Out. Kratos versus Tucklepuff. I have to say, I find Tucklepuff's name hilarious. It's really fun to say. Tucklepuff. I don't know why, but it's funny to me. It is funny to me, and it makes me giggle a little bit inside. So we're closing in on our finals very soon for event number 3. The final event of the day. Been a lot of fun going through this. A lot of fun talking about a lot of Phobies. We covered a lot of Phobies games today. Definitely fun. As mentioned before, I am, of course, part of the content affiliate program. That's why I'm wearing one of these. This is one of the Phobie sweatshirts that the Smoking Gun team did gift me for running Fright Night number 3. Of course, they also give me coffee. Just have to let people know every once in a while. If you're interested in playing in a future Fright Night, hit up the Random Thoughts Discord, !Discord on the live stream, but you can find the link for the Discord and the live stream if you're watching this on YouTube down in the description. And of course, likes and subscribes while you're down there. Definitely helps out. Definitely helps out. Trying to hit 1,000 subscribers this year. We'll see if we can make that push. But in the meantime, we got Kratos here with 6 keys remaining, only 3 available, 3 still waiting to be banked. Same for Tucklepuff. Interestingly, Kratos must have had a Gravedigger at some point. Did once have a Gravedigger. No longer has a Gravedigger. And at this stage, we're getting into a trap war, we'll say. Ooh. Little Poison Ivy trap going down. There are keys remaining for Kratos, but maxed Phobies, so no Clinico and no Muffin coming out unless Tucklepuff does something weird and eliminates something else somehow. So this thing is probably dead to just the poison. Is it? Yes, it is. All right, we got to update the bracket here. Getting some more results. And then we will have our finals after this. Well, depending on how this game goes. We got to see who wins this game. Winner of this series, this match, will end up playing Big She in the finals. So we get an invade here to eliminate one of the opposing Phobies, in this case, Gesundheit. We're not quite going to get the attractor. Oof. It's a good thought, but can't quite get there. 10 health remaining. 10 health. That's pretty brutal. Somebody's pinging me in the official Phobies Discord. Somebody's responding to my post from literally like 9 hours ago. But anyway, we do get a pseudo invade here. Honestly, I'm surprised that Kratos didn't advance the Stabby. It is now like dead weight because they'll never advance into it. So Jar goes down, Gesundheit goes down. Gonna pay for it with Stabby and Snowball effectively. But Attractor is still alive, and that's pretty scary. That's, like, really scary. Honestly, why didn't... What difference does that make? So I could see... What? Sure. That's a good pull. Snipe the Jar. As mentioned, this is going to die on its own. This is not going to have enough damage to actually kill anything. Oh no, ran out of time. Did you even have enough damage? 440 on this? Oh no, ran out of time. That actually would have been a sick play. That would have been a sick play to clean all of that up. Really? I guess. Since this mistake was made that the Murder Wing still exists, I guess it's a 2-to-1 panic point advantage. Hypothetically, Kratos can retreat, lean on the Clinico, hope that maybe there's some trap plays that materialize. Like, this isn't unwinnable. This isn't unwinnable. It's just going to be brutally difficult. What? Was that necessary? It had to have been. Did this attack? I was looking at chat. So I didn't catch if the Baba Yaga attacked. 0 keys remaining for both players. There is a Clinico live. Here's the thing. It's actually going to be somewhat challenging for Tucklepuff to actually reclaim one of these panic points. Depending on where the traps are. This is 460. If there's a trap on this panic point, it could actually be really bad news. But the problem is there also kind of needs to be a trap here. Because if there isn't, then this Eternal Night can sneak down here. It'll get weird. It'll get weird. It will get... Let's get weird. Yeah, there's a Yoink live. I don't like this at all, Kratos. Is this a bait? Like, is there a trap here? It would be funny if there's not a trap here, but there is a trap here. 475. So this will trade with the Eternal Night. Which is, I guess, reasonable. I don't think you want that. You could kill it with the Innocuous and then try and reclaim this with the Eternal Night, because Kratos would have to make some awkward decisions. So we get the push from Kratos. This makes sense. Is it possible? 750 health, 400, 320. So you have to hit this twice with something in order to kill it. You can't poke these things and retreat. So this invade is pretty dangerous. Because Kratos will now have a 3-0 panic point advantage and can hypothetically, like, stash the Clinico here, move the Stabby here, and then maybe... This is interesting. And, like, is Tucklepuff just dead? Oh no, Stabby can't one-shot this. Or one volley this. Because it's only going to do 750 damage as 800 health. Meaning it would probably trade. This is a weird... It's a difficult decision to make here. As we're watching everything go back and forth. So this is clearly dead to lava. This has 348 health. This is a draw. This is literally a draw. Depending on what Kratos does. This is actually a regame. I'm waiting for the pings to come in Discord now of, well, what do we do if we draw? That's not correct. You lose. Oh, no. Oh, no. Unless Tucklepuff decides to reclaim a panic point for some bizarre reason. Oh, Kratos, you just threw. Oh, no. Like, that's just a draw, right? I'm not... That is how that works. I'm not making a mistake here, right? Like, that's a draw? Or should have been, right? Oh, Kratos. No, not like this. Not like this. Yo, we are on Pluto. Kratos here. Kratos here going up against Tucklepuff. Starting with the Murder Wing opener. I think Kratos was asking about how I felt about the Murder Wing opener on this map. And in general, I think it's fine, but I'm very curious to see if either player pops out a Honey Bear, because I feel like Honey Bear is underrated in general, but absolutely valuable on this map. You're going to have to deal with my crunching and munching. Very hungry. I had a bowl of cereal and like a little bit of pasta salad and then a bunch of pretzels. That's all I've eaten today, chap. Not exactly the most nutritious meals in the world. And admittedly, I mean, that's still 2 meals, but I'm going to blame it on the diabetes. But anyway, we do get an Ivy. I haven't seen too many Tucklepuff games aside from this, so I don't know what to expect out of this player. I don't know what their trademarks are. I don't know what's going on. Whoever's online is on top. I mean, but then why did Kratos go to the bottom? Unless they're actually signing out every time that they... Like, they're closing the game every time they end the game. That doesn't make any sense. Move active arena games to the top of the friends list. There's also some delay before the active game updates on your client. That's what I was assuming was the case, is that there's just a delay of the server communicating with the local client because, I mean, A, that logically makes sense, and B, I mean, even if you could code that piece of it away, is that really a useful expenditure of resources? Like, putting a ton of time into that doesn't... Okay, I gotta wait another 3 seconds. I'm gonna die! It's fine. Anyway, Kratos is debating here. Going a little Eternal Night action. So this is a very aggressive Poison Ivy. But it isn't enough damage to have these two challenge this Stabby. Tucklepuff just getting the old cat set up. Try and cap this point for free. This is the thing that I think a lot of people complain about on Pluto, and to another extent, Phobos, is that it just feels oppressively difficult to assault the stem. Because you can go in, it's like, hey, I got something, and then you just get annihilated on the return. It's difficult to push your opponent out, and if you do, then you end up assuming the bully position, which, yes, that's how games work, but at the same time, it feels worse on these maps, these two, for some reason. I don't mind Pluto as much as Phobos, but Phobos, as we saw earlier today, that doesn't actually seem to be how that map plays out. Crunch away, get a little chomp action. Chomp, 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 chomp. Chat, I'll eat this whole thing. This is like a gallon of pretzels. I don't know how many. Where's this? It's over a pound of pretzels. I'll eat them all. I'll eat them all. Like, when you think about it, a pound of pretzel is a lot. It's a lot of pretzel. I could probably eat way more than that, which is not good. It's not the way to live your life. Don't do that. But I'm hungry. There's also really not much to discuss that's on screen at the moment. We're just positioning. There's at least 2 Poison Ivy traps out right now. Or maybe this is going to be the second one this turn. I'm sorry, what? What? Now there's something to talk about. Please tell me the Tucklepuff has broken the Pluto meta via Flesh Crawler. Do you have any idea how excited I will be, chat, if Flesh Crawler is the standard meta on Pluto? Realistically, Motherload is still going to be better. Actually, this does more damage on its ability, so maybe. But I think Motherload is tankier, which is also part of the problem. Flesh Crawler is just squishy enough to make this awkward. Ooh, Scritch. I know Kratos is a big fan of Scritch. Chat, I'm not even joking. I really want the Flesh Crawler to be a thing. I remember having so much fun with it, and then it just dropped off like a rock. Pretzels are measured in gallons now? What, you don't measure pretzels in gallons? I go to the store and I say, give me 4 5-gallon buckets of pretzels. How else would you communicate that? So anyway, we're finally stabilizing the panic points. They're even now. 6,000, 3,400. This is the thing. Like, this is an enormous beating. Yeah, Flesh Crawler. I don't know. Tentacle time. Hey, now. Hey, now. So there has to be a trap on the stim. And there's probably a trap on this panic point, I think. Yeah, Flesh Crawler ability on the stim. That's why I think this is a cool idea. As I was saying, I think Motherload would probably just be better. But it would still be really cool. It would still be really cool. Yeah, maybe they don't have Motherload. But, oh my god, Rocket Man! Somebody get Luffy, quick! I think these are Luffy's 2 favorite phobies. I'm putting the pretzels down, chat. I gotta stop. I'm actually gonna eat this whole freaking thing. So as for actually commentating on the game, we get a Murder Wing as supplement from Tucklepuff. Maxed out on Phobies, though, so you can't reclaim this patent. It's back to being a beating. Double boosted Flesh Crawler. I don't think that stacks, does it? Can you buff something on the stim, or does the stim overwrite? Well, does one over, like, clang clang? Can you? That happens so rarely. I feel like it should work, right? Well, we found out Scritch it works. So it's gotta work. Wow! Get wrecked, nerd. Oh, okay. For a second, I thought Kratos was going to just move the stabby here, and I'm like, Kratos, you're gonna get tentacled to death. Flesh Crawler is going to annihilate your team. As it is, this is still a good... Oh my god. No! Oh my god, is it gonna... This is happening. Chat, this is happening. Look at this. Oh, you don't even need to do that! What are you doing? Okay, I see what they're doing. I see how Tucklepuff is doing this. Wait, what yeah, why? No, do this. Yes, they're seeing it. We're seeing it. We're seeing it. You pop this. Now you juice. Oh my god, it's happening! Got him! Get tentacled! Get tentacled. Look, I don't even care about the Rocket Man. Imagine being the other Phobies. The sheer terror of Flesh Crawler. Like, you're watching, frozen because you can't move or react. Witnessing Gonzo juice up a Flesh Crawler and then it's just shamble its creepy ass over onto his stem and then go, ah, and summon all these tentacles. Oh, that's so dirty. That's so dirty. Chat, did Tucklepuff just break the Pluto meta? Did Tucklepuff just break the Pluto meta? If Kratos manages to pull this out somehow. No, it's only a 3-hit, never mind. I thought if this was like full health, maybe, but no. Because if full health, maybe it can run over, but even then, it's probably not going to do it. You can just body block it by walking over here. Brutal! Absolutely brutal! All right, we got Big She and Tucklepuff for the finals of event number 3 of Fright Night number 4. Definitely a lot of fun. Shout out to all the competitors. Thank you for competing. Thank you for coming out. Everybody hanging out in chat. Definitely a lot of fun. We've seen some wild games, some cool plays, some uncommon Phobies. Not the rarity, but ones that you don't typically see. I mean, for heaven's sake, we just saw a Flesh Crawler just mop up. Just batting cleanup and just annihilating. Here, we're instead zoning in the finals of Fright Night number 4's Event 3. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, I am part of the content affiliate program. That's why you see this sweet Phobies hoodie coming from Smoking Gun. Although you can't really see it on the sleeve because, you know, it's crunched up. There you go. Good enough. It's tiny. Whatever. They gave me this for hosting Fright Night number 3. But they do give me coffee for producing other content. Got to let people know that, bring it up periodically so people are aware of what they're getting themselves into. But we're jumping into the finals here between Tucklepuff and Big She. We just came off of a Tucklepuff game. Definitely some cool plays being made by both players throughout the event. But we'll see how this finals goes. We do have a Gravedigger coming out from Big She. Breaking the close by obstacle, that's a little weird. Like, is this really necessary to break? Like, I don't know. This feels unnecessary. I could be wrong. I don't know. It just doesn't... Because you can't run a 1 key to this immediately as a result, so it's kind of like, who cares? I would rather have broken one of these, or even this. But instead, we're getting Venus coming out, double traps to counteract a Baba Yaga, a Baba Haha, if you will. If you're curious about what the hell I'm talking about, that would be a meme for my live stream, which we are live streaming this event right now. You can check the links for that if you're watching this on YouTube in the description while you're down there. Likes and subscribes do, of course, help. If you're here, hit up the Random Thoughts Discord, or if you're on YouTube, hit up the Random Thoughts Discord. ! Discord is the command on the live stream. But we get a very early Clinico to heal up this Stabby. That's cute. That's cute. That's nice. Only a Henrietta has gone down so far. We missed that early on, I think. But we do get a block here. Okay, okay. We do get a block, which is interesting. It will clearly get chipped down throughout the course of the game. But it does solidify this and force all the interaction to be here. The way we've seen this play out before, because Gravedigger has been kind of the through line for all 3 events today. We've seen Gravediggers show up on virtually every map and put to great use by a variety of excellent players. Everybody, shout out again to all the players, and thank you for coming out. If you want to play in a Fright Night, hit up the Random Thoughts Discord for the future ones. We're trying to get the next one ready to go for March. No promises there, but we're working on it. We've seen Gravedigger put in a ton of work, but mostly for breaking obstacles. There have been great plays, including on this map, with created obstacles in order to set up elongating, say, a Hevo 3.0's range, that sort of thing. But it's interesting that these aren't getting broken yet, because the restriction on movement on this map is just immense. It is really difficult to actually move around this map and set up what you want. We get a little tickles action. I like this. If there's not a trap here, there's definitely one here. The Baba Yaga has had enough time to start setting up traps. It's likely to only eat a single trap, of course, through Trap Absorber. But, I mean, that's better than no traps. And then it would require double hits here from the Baba Yaga in order to kill it. So it's not going to be able to just escape quite easily. There haven't been too many Gonzos throughout the event, Hakune. We obviously didn't get to examine all the games because we were jumping between games, but there weren't that many Gonzos. So we get an attractor, your favorite and mine. Spoiler alert, I'm lying. I hate attractor. Honestly, if I could expunge a single phobie from the game, it would be attractor. I just hate that thing. But anyway, whining aside, we're getting our trap build up. There's so many traps on the board right now. There's just too many traps. Is this Tickles going to go for it? Because I get the sense Big She wants to utilize this Tickles to greater effect. They are maxed out on Phobies as a result of not sending these 1 keys in. So there's 8 keys getting banked. 14 total available, 6 remaining thanks to the attractor expenditure. Max Phobies for our blue player as well. Notably, some pristine and mostly pristine life totals on the heart. I'll be honest with you, chat. I mean, I'm not playing the game. I'm only commentating, but I have absolutely lost track of what the cooldowns on these traps are. I have no idea what is going on, like when these different, like the unicorn or the Venus or this, it's just too much to track. It's way too much to track. I do wish that would come back. I know it was a bug way back when, but I wish that seeing when the cooldown was activated on the trap was available for the other player and then obviously the spectators. It's fine. You obviously you shouldn't know where the trap goes, but I think seeing the cooldown would at least help. I understand why it isn't, but, you know, personal preference. 11 keys now. We are, in fact, invading. Are you going to get the follow-up here? It's possible there's a trap here now if Tucklepuff was being ballsy. So we get the replacement on the statue here. Makes sense. Hey, good girl. Good girl, babe. Who's the good baby? Puppy's coming to see me. Are you coming to see me? Or are you just going to go switch your spots? Yep. Doing the good old rotation. She's keeping me company down here. Wondering why I've been yelling into the mic all day. Quite literally all day. Whose Sucklepuff came from nowhere and is clapping people. We're gonna learn. You better know Tucklepuff's name after this. Some pristine obstacles too. I mean, you're not wrong. The obstacles have not been interacted with, like basically at all, other than this one. Wait, what just happened? That was a trap that went off, but it should have gone... Oh, you know why? Because this probably got placed, and it's not active the turn that it gets laid. So it got put here. There was already a unicorn trap here. It popped, but it doesn't... This one, the Baba Yaga trap doesn't go off as a result. So 14 keys. Oh, who was calling for it? I'm going to go with no one. No one was calling for boss. But you're getting boss whether you like it or not. Time to bring the heat. We need a bunch of Batman and Robin, as in Batman 3, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mr. Freeze puns. That was a very long description, but if you know, you know. But for boss. So we're clearing out a bunch of traps here, as you can see the explosion in the center. Yeah, I don't think it's really a good idea to be going after this if you are not killing this damn thing. Get the yoink. I don't know that that's significantly better, truthfully. We don't have an obstacle break, so you can't do anything cute with, like, walk this up, break this block, bring this down, and then blow up this. It's close, but we're not there yet. The Clinico's gotten 3 heals off? Question mark? I'm unsure. Because we're watching it live with so many undos, it gets difficult to follow sometimes. I lose track. And I'm trying to do 15 different things at once. Cast the game, take care of chat, check what's going on with admin stuff, and of course pay attention to the baby. That's the puppy, for anyone not worrying. Yeah, getting a lot of trap cancels. You know, we also canceled a tractor. Get wrecked, nerd. Get that attractor nonsense out of here. I'll remember Puff. He speaks my language, the Baba Yaga language. What? Oh, Tuckle Puff. I thought you were talking about Puff the Phobie. And I'm like, what correlation does Puff have to Baba Yaga? The big boss man. Yep. I'm reading, for anybody wondering, there's a delay in chat. Anybody wondering on YouTube later, there's a delay for chat. So they're reacting to both the game and me a couple minutes later. So, yeah, nobody was calling for even more global warming. Nope. I see Big She is a sweaty tryhard. I mean, this is for the finals. This is for all the coffee beans. Well, not all the coffee beans. Most of the coffee beans. 2/3 of the coffee beans. We get a Gonzo, which normally you'd see on the other side, supplementing said boss. And you can't really call somebody a sweaty tryhard when the other person put a tractor on the board. Unless you're going to say both of them are, because they're both up there. They're both up there. The funny thing is I was joking about this earlier, but if a tractor were straight up removed, like literally did not exist, I would be okay. If boss were removed, I would have a problem. Could boss get nerfed? Yes. Totally separate discussion. We can deal with that later. But I think boss is cool. I think a tractor's a dickhead. Hey! You can terraform the existing obstacles. I know we're screwing around, but it's just funny. Yeah, that trap from like eons ago. A tractor stepped on it. That trap was from the late Cretaceous period. This is going to be tough for Tucklepuff to get out of. It's not impossible, but I imagine it's going to necessitate Big She or require Big She walking into a bunch of traps. Now, admittedly, they are Baba Yaga traps, so there's a lot of ways that this could go south. But I assume Venus is just going to walk up and tank this. Now, also, well, I take it back. I was going to say Big She, since they have a key advantage, as in keys still available 3-2, you could win the key trading war and then force Tucklepuff to come in to fight you. But Tucklepuff already has something on the board, so it's not really a key advantage. The something being this razor mouth that's sitting down here. Truthfully, chat, we haven't seen as many bosses as you might think throughout the course of the event. We've seen way more, and granted, ultra rare versus rare, but way more Hevo 2.0s, way more other stuff, but we haven't seen the dreaded boss Gonzo combo a lot. A tryhard is the one on the winning side no matter what they play? I guess. I don't think I would quite classify them as Greed Lord McSweaty Pants Tryhard the Third, but yeah, does that make you the sweatiest tryhard, Akune, since you won your event? You are the sweatiest tryhard? Goodbye. So what are you doing, Big Sheep? What do you got here? What do you got here? You're gonna pass? Really? What are you waiting for? The cooldown on the break? I assume this is the cooldown on the break that we're waiting for. Okay, now... Oh no, Tucklebuff is coming back. They were just backing off to heal. If they were full retreating, then it would make sense, because otherwise you offer up too much space. There's not enough damage even with a trap in order to kill, say, the Venus. So once again, I assume that Tucklepuff must have just placed a trap here that eliminates the unicorn trap, hence why it didn't go off. I'm an enjoyer, happens to be misunderstood as a tryhard. Sure. So this is a quick snipe on the cat. This does put Big She at a key advantage. However, yeah, that would have exposed the boss to an enormous amount of, well, maybe not enormous, but a significant amount of damage from this stabby, which doesn't really get you much. I feel like if you're going to do that, you need to You're Fired, but even if you do, this Gonzo can come in and juice the stabby, so it would be a pretty significant amount of damage, and unless you're planning on investing your remaining 3 keys into Clinico, you're not really going to have enough juice to keep this boss alive through further fights. And if you do go Clinico, you're now out of keys, and you're handing the key advantage right back to Tucklepuff. I just like saying Tucklepuff's name. Tucklepuff. It's funny to me. It sounds funny. Okay, we're just going to pass turns. This feels like we're playing on the once lore. So this is what we were... Wait, really? I had thought we were going to get a block here, truthfully. Maybe we are? Yep. Big She thought better of it. Because the problem is you can still juice. There's probably a trap here, A. Because we haven't had a test for it yet, unless there was a Venus trap that went down that we didn't see. And, excuse me, the Gonzo can still juice the boss, or the stabby to hit the boss, so a lot of damage is going to go down. I don't know about this. I guess this is fine. Possibly would have poked at the... Actually, you can't poke at the jar, because if there was a trap here, the jar would have died, because you would have had to move it down. So I guess this is okay. So Stabby, unfortunately for Big She, is going to tank this and then get healed. And without a Clinico of their own, you're losing this trade in this exchange. But now you're up on panic points, and it's going to be a challenge for your opponent to get in there. This is a good catch, good heads-up play. Just take the free damage where you can. Sure, Tucklepuff could push a little bit, but you're not killing this right now. The problem is you are trapped as well. You can't supplement this offensive with anything. So unless Tucklepuff decides to advance, you're not going to run this down. But it does now present the choice of, do you heal the Baba Yaga or do you heal Stabby? That's a tough decision. It's also going to be a triple panic point advantage, by the way. 5k health to 3,800. There's a little bit of room to be made up, but, I mean, it's there. So the decision here has been made to heal the Baba Yaga and boost it. That is not lethal damage. Now, this will not die to the efforts here. I wonder if it would have been better to just leave the unicorn push twice as much damage. Probably not, because this can just kill Like, this walks up, kills the unicorn, then this recaps the point. I don't know how Tucklepuff breaks this. And you have to do it kind of soon. You're down to 32 already. And the panic point damage is not getting any lower. The problem is if you go in here, there may be a trap on this point, further softening up the Baba Yaga. So clearly this is going to... Oh, maybe not. I was going to say this is to chip with the jar, but it seems like it's just vacating the position. We do have a break available here from the Gravedigger, so that means that you can break one of these. It still allows boss to get in there and pummel whatever's here. Still on cooldown for the Gonzo. But down to 2k. His heart is burning alive. Down it goes. Big shock there. The Baba Yaga will end up taking 2 hits here, because you can break. Still can't reclaim a panic point, just out of range, but this is going to be tough, because this... Look at this. There's basically no offensive for Tucklepuff at this stage. I think it's worth getting a Clinico at this point, which is likely what's happening here. Gonna die to boss damage, boss fire. Yep. This should lock it up. This should lock it up. I don't see how Tucklepuff breaks this, which we could have said several turns ago, but at this point, I think it's pretty much confirmed. Didn't even have to do the break. You could go ahead and put the panic, or the obstacle to block the panic point down again. And then at that point, there's like literally no way that Tucklepuff is getting in here. There's no more offensive power to try and swing this way, even if you claim this point, 800 health. Ball game. Game goes to Big She. Well played. Well played. Here we go. Game 2 between Tucklepuff and Big She. Big She is up 1-0. Tucklepuff starting off with the classic. The classic stabby opener. I think this might be the first game where we literally got in on the first turn of the game. All the other ones today, chat, we've gotten a slightly late start. So the classic opener here does allow Big She to claim the top panic point cleanly and safely via Snowball. So where is the stabby going to go? Because if it doesn't come down here, then this is also clean. Like you can just go here and there's no threat to it. Yep. And there's no easy way. Well, the Murder Wing can take this top panic point, but we're going to get Big She follow-up. And now, yeah, you can't go there. 2-0 panic point advantage. Now, the stabby's going to come down here and be able to claim this pretty easily. It's just not going to be problematic. But Tucklepuff's playing it safer and choosing not to cap the panic points, so that way you don't get fireballed. Which is interesting. So the total, 375. 7, 820. So these two would be able to kill Snowball if it stays here. We'll see if that actually happens. It's entirely possible that it won't. And I would expect even if Snowball stayed that Tucklepuff wouldn't want to commit because the Gin Sting's already in position. Tucklepuff just straight up banking to 6. Gonna try and go over the top here. Stemming the bleeding a little bit. An Octonaughty, really? Alright. That's something that you, in general, do not see very often. It is a rare, so, you know, it's up there. Not many players have access to it, or not as many players have access to it. But it's uncommon to see this particular rare. See what I did there? On this map. I mean, how often do... I have to wonder, like, why specifically Octonaughty and not Moffat in this scenario? Just for the range? It's somewhat anemic damage output. Like, the damage output from Tucklepuff is pretty low right now. Even against this particular set of Phobies, which aren't exactly the sturdiest in the world. We'll have to see how this plays out. Now, Big She has 4 keys to counter. What's the answer here? Alien Engineer said in Ergo, second player is the real advantage. I could see it. I could see it. I think that's how a lot of my games have played out, in fact, but a lot of my games as of late have been async games, so it's just kind of been all over the place for the most part. They're what I would call not real games. So I'll lean on what Alien Engineer is saying and what Hakune is repeating. So it is possible to snipe this Murder Wing combination of Snowball plus Gin Sting, but I imagine we're not going to get that aggressive. 7 keys banked for Big She here. What are you planning to drop on the board? Part of the challenge here is if you go with a singular large phobie, you drop a 7 key on the board. There's the risk that you have to sit there and babysit it and maybe don't get a lot of value out of it. Really? Yeah, I don't even think you kill this Stabby. Yeah, you don't have enough damage to kill it. So, if you're wondering why the defensive positioning here is obviously Octonaughty. Octonaughty could go here, yoink something onto the lava, hit it, meatball. Hell, you can even, like, basically everything hits it. So you have to play super defensively here because the Octonaughty is such a big threat. And the answer from Big She is Spider, keeping 5 keys banked. So the cat follow-up here clearly foreshadows a recap of the top center point. I imagine we're not going to see it go to the bottom right. I guess it's not impossible, but... I wonder how many traps are actually flown around. There's probably a few at this point. Because that unicorn's been out for a while. But none of them are really going to be in spectacular positions because of the Octonaughty. You're going to be able to pull something into the center part of the map, and then they're not going to have to commit into it to make something happen. In fact, you're probably going to have to overextend in order to defend your phobie. The funny thing about this is, we've talked a lot. Ooh, we get a Firkin Leaper Karn for the 5th phobie. Wow, I did not see that coming. So, we've talked about it a lot, but a lot of phobies... A lot of phobies exert what I've referred to as soft power, where they just kind of influence your opponent. And clearly, Big She is respecting this Octonaughty a lot. A hell of a lot. So that means that you can't... There's a huge area of the map that's being cut off. Because imagine the Octonaughty moves up to here. It can hit here, like this whole arc. It could yoink any of these things and result in a kill. So that's why you see these things playing so far back. And honestly, while that Jin Sting is hanging out in no man's land back there, it's effectively not in the game. All right, we get a yoink here. But notably, that Octonauti is still in range of this Leaper Karn. Womp womp. Get furked. Leaper Karn getting furked. Notably, the Stabby is not dead. Is this enough damage? That's 750 plus 450. 12. Never mind, Stabby is dead. Stabby is in fact dead. Those traps we were talking about earlier, there you go. I was going to say, otherwise, there might be enough damage to kill the spider. But trading Unicorn out for Stabby, I think most people would accept that. I think that's a reasonable trade in most people's books in most scenarios. Excuse me. But as mentioned, Firkin Leaper Karn turning off this pull. Unlucky charms. Big She was testing Firkin on ladder. I could see it. Firkin has definitely moved up in a lot of people's books in recent months. And pretty far, I might add. I know it was absolutely a meme and nobody respected it for a long time, but... Alright, we saw the Flesh Crawler earlier. Is it enough to do it? There's no stim. There's no Gonzo. Is Flesh Crawler big enough and tentacly enough to make this happen? So, as you can see from the Firkin Leaper Karn, it resets the cooldown timer. So, the Octonauti will have its yoink back shortly, but not soon. Not too soon. Unicorn should have died, or shouldn't have died. Unicorn, or Tuckle could have pulled Unicorn and killed it. Yeah, that was a few turns back, but yes. Sheep is one of the last Phobies for Big She. Maxed out on Phobies here. This is going to be interesting. We do have a Dimensional. We do have an Undead. This is a significant poison. We're not talking about something that can truly be ignored. 500 adds up really quick when we're talking about level 1s. The pull is live, so I expect this to be a dead Octonauti. A combination of Leaper Karn, Yoink, and just natural Jin Sting hits should do it in. And you can finish it with the Jin Sting, so that way it doesn't get pulled forward. And Tucklepuff, just like that, is in a really bad spot. I mean, kind of has been. That turn down... Getting the Firkin Leaper Karn to connect with the Octonauti and then allowing the takedown on the Stabby really put this in a bad light for Tucklepuff. It's going to be an uphill climb. You're going to need Big She to make maybe not an egregious error, but a notable error, a notable mistake in order for this game to come apart. I'm surprised that Big She's playing it so defensively. I kind of get it because if you send in the spider, it's possibly dead to a combination of Raising Hell / attack and just regular attacks. Whereas here, this is a little more patient, a little more cautious. Cassowary is the 5th Phobie, 1 key remaining for Big She. But the Cassowary can, of course, snipe the jar. In the meantime, we're looking at 4,800 to 3,200. This will be interesting. But Unlucky Charm is almost live again, so we could be turning off the Octonauti once more pretty soon, assuming it looked like it was going to pull back to this healing spot, but ultimately didn't do that. Flesh Crawler, I think, has now become Tucklepuff's signature phobia, whether they want it or not. One game, and it just pins it on you for life. Can almost get the Firkin Leprechaun connection right. I mean, it's in range, but you just gotta wait for the cooldown. Big She playing it super patient, but you have a bunch of time because it's not a triple panic point advantage. You didn't take a ton of damage earlier. You're still ahead on life. You're not really in a ton of danger. So we get the yoink here onto the sheep. This is probably a dead sheep, right? 650. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, that's brutal. I thought there was going to be enough damage, too, there, Tucklepuff. I thought there was as well. All right, so now the Octonauty's out of the game for a couple turns, because it's going to have to take time to reposition and reposition safely. It really depends on how aggressive Big She's positioning ends up being. What I could see happening is you position the spider in order to possibly yoink the jar. That invites, say, Octonauty and Flesh Crawler in order to try and kill it, and then you position the sheep to connect with both of those. Is the scenario that I think you'd want to try and engineer. Whether that's really feasible, of course, is another story. His tentacles get furked? I mean, you could. But it looks like Big She is waiting, because Unlucky Charm is still live. Hey, Rock Swan, welcome back. We are going to get a yoink here. Yep. Definitely makes sense. You don't even have to sheeping gas explode. You can just walk up and hit it. Get the power down on Raising Hell, because obviously this is going to die this turn. Is it going to die? It should, right? 360? Yep. You do have to burn bees on it. You needed to do this in the other order. Yep, there you go. You got an undo. And like I said, at this stage, I don't know. This is why when we were talking about the Octonauty being effectively out of the game a couple turns ago, and then it has to approach safely. It didn't play it too safe. Did not play it too safely. Which has better poison at level 1? Sheeping Gas does. So we'll get the Sheeping Gas explode unless Big She just is willing. Yeah, this will work. No, we're not going to get an explode. I feel like you should explode there. Like, why put the lower poison? Also do less damage. Yeah, I don't think there's any way to kill this thing. Is there? Is this enough? There is, in fact, a way to kill it. Got him. Down goes Flesh Crawler. Never even got to spawn some tentacles. I don't think Jar and heavily damaged Contortio are going to do it. Big She would have to walk into range and pass turn for like 10 turns. I think we can call this one, chat. I think we can safely call this one. Game. GG Big She. Congrats on winning event number 3 of Fright Night number 4. Shout out to all the competitors, all the winners. Thank you for coming out. Everybody that signed up, everybody that supported. Definitely was a lot of fun. It was definitely very exhausting. I am going to be putting together a survey. I'm going to send that out to all the competitors so people can give feedback and stuff like that so we can try and improve Fright Night going forward. And I'm going to make my best effort to try and make Fright Night a monthly thing, aka keep your eyes and ears open for future events. Hopefully in March. Hopefully in March will be the next one. I'm waiting on some responses from the devs to make sure that my ideas are okay. And then we'll kind of go from there. Shout out to the dev team, both because I am a content affiliate, they give me stuff, but also for giving us prizes. Shout out to all the competitors, as well as all the spectators. As I said, a lot of fun. I need to take a break, and I need to go get some food. But that is going to do it for Fright Night number 4. Congratulations, everybody. But as always, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And Black Lives Matter.